Hi guys! Okay, so I'm just doing a quick video on tips and things which you need and how to get prepared for starting secondary school, or as others would call it in some other countries, high school. Okay, so tip number one, I would say attend your induction day and all the events which your secondary school is actually organizing. So you can also go and you'll meet other students which are also starting school and probably even people from your primary school. So that'll be a nice way to get familiar with other people. And also you'll some induction days you get to see some classes, and so you'll actually start to know your way around the school, though you're not going to memorize it from the top of your head, but you'll know where to go on your first day. So the first thing which you do after the bell goes, which room you'll go to, or if you have assembly, where do you stand. So you'll know all of that, making you feel a little bit more comfortable, though you'll still be nervous. You'll have, at least you'll have something and you'll know where to go, so it's less pressure. Okay, when it comes to traveling, the first things you need to do is go and take passport pictures. So I'll probably print off like 6 or 8 just for safekeeping, and then go make it. If you're going to be traveling by bus or train, I'd advise that you get a student card, a traveling card, which is discounted and it will save you money instead of paying daily. And also, it's just easier. Yeah. So you'd have to sort out your transport if you're going to walk, catch bus, train, car, what's going to be cheaper, quicker, easier for you. So you have to consider those things. Okay, so one of the first things you have to consider about uniform is if your unit, I'm about to say university, I'm so sorry. If your high school, secondary school, um, has requires you to wear a tie, then during the holiday you should practice how to tie a tie, because my school we had to wear ties, and I never even took the time to consider learning how to tie a tie, and I didn't think it through because on the first day of school I got I think it was my mom to tie my tie, and then we had PE on Tuesdays, I think. Like in year seven, you have it 2 times a week, if I'm correct. So our first PE day was the next day, and I didn't even think of like my tie until I took it off in the changing room. And after PE, we were all getting dressed because we had another lesson, and I'm just there like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to tie my tie. And like, even I'm so glad I wasn't the only year seven who didn't know how to tie a tie, especially because we're girls. So we I remember just walking, just trying to attempt, and I was like, oh my gosh. I remember I ended up asking someone. I don't even know who it was. It was most likely my cousin, because I was lucky to go to school with my cousins. Like, I had a cousin in almost each year, so that was lucky for me. But then the best thing would be for you to learn how to tie a tie. So when you're changing your PE rooms very quick, you don't have time to be asking people. You can just quickly do it and just go and rush to your next lesson, because punctuality is a big deal in high school, and you can end up getting detention if you have a really strict teacher. Okay, so also with uniform for girls, sorry, this seems a bit more focused on the girls, but for girls, if your school allows you to wear skirts, so you'd have to choose between skirts or trousers, but you can mix it up during whenever, if you feel like wearing a skirt, you wear a skirt. But if you feel like on your first day of school you want to know and you want to be comfortable in, and you're trying to decide if you wear a skirt or trousers, you can go and just like probably drive through your school if you've got time. like persuade someone, just be like, drive through and see like if most girls wear skirts or trousers, or if your friends are going to the same high school, you can talk and be like, are you going to be wearing trousers or skirts, and just organize and wear the same together. So yeah. And then also, the a good thing you should do during induction days and before you actually start school, most high schools give you like a guideline and like a handbook which has like their uniform, what they expect you to wear and how it should be worn. I'd say really take a look at that, because some schools are strict that if you don't have a certain thing on, you could get detention, like 15-minute detention after school for like forgetting your tie at home, or like not having your badge, or like simple things like that, or the wrong socks. So you just need to take account of that. And then those are the main things you should consider. And boys, you should also consider, because most boys, like in some schools which I was doing research, socks for boys, and also belts. Some schools don't allow certain belts, so you also need to check what type of belt you should be wearing to high school. And also hair, like certain hairstyles for guys are not allowed, like if your hair is really long, it needs to be cut like a boy cut and stuff like that. So you should also check that out. Okay, so tip number 4: girls, avoid carrying handbags. Boys, don't carry pouches. I hope you guys still call it pouches, like the Nike ones, which are just like those small little, bags. Try, in fact, don't even try. Don't carry them to school, please. No, don't. Just don't. And check if your school has lockers. If they do, then that is, just carry like a backpack, which is just a nice one, like a hype backpack. It's just easier for when you're going home, or like if you get homework and you got to take books, or you got to carry something home, especially in year 7 where you have to do DT, which is design and technology and cooking and all that. And then you got this tiny little pouch or like a tiny little handbag. Like, how are you going to fit everything? Your books, your homework, your pencil case, your like, no, just guys, please don't. You're in year 7, just relax. It's not a fashion show. Okay, last quick tip. When you get your timetable, the first thing you do is please take a photo of it, and also photocopy like 3 or 4 spare ones, because I guarantee you probably, and you will most likely, lose it unless you're so organized that it doesn't get stuck in, you don't leave it in your blazer when it's in the washing machine or something like that. And okay, I've got 3 massive don'ts. Don't allow your parents to convince you to buy a blazer which is just like a bit too big so you grow into it. No, don't do that, because when you're writing school, like, it'll just be like here, and you'll be writing on the desk. It's so uncomfortable, and also it's like most likely to get dirty there. And also, just, you'll feel more comfortable in a blazer which actually fits you than an oversized one. Okay, another don't is don't walk around and then say, when's it playtime? You're in high school. Please don't say playtime. Call it break. Just say, when's break, or like, how long is break? Don't say playtime, because they'll be like, but then they'll find it so cute if you say it to older people. They'll be like, oh, because you're in year 7 and you're tiny, and yeah. And then also, if you ever get lost on your first few days, even like if it takes a month, it does take a while to get used to a big school. So don't be afraid to ask. Ask teachers, ask anyone who's old. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. And it doesn't hurt to ask. And that concludes this whole quick top 5 tips on things to prepare for school. I forgot the title of this. But anyway, thank you for watching, and subscribe and like below. Love you guys.